everyone.
I'm Soozee.
And I'm Rachel.
And you're listening to the Gilmore Gab.
Gilmore Gab, episode 4.
Episode 4.
We are still talking about Lorelai's guys.
It's true. We just started.
So, yes. We talked about Christopher.
Mm-hmm.
And now because we talked about going like in order from worst to best.
Yes.
Decided Christopher was the worst.
Yes, because he is.
Today, we are going to talk about Jason Stiles, a.k.a. Digger.
Digger Stiles.
Digger Stiles.
Oh my gosh, what a terrible nickname, honestly. Like, if I were him, I'm not at all surprised. He's like, please don't call me that.
Like, I want to know, did they ever explain why that was his nickname? I feel like Emily had like a point to make about it. I know she didn't like the nickname either.
Well, because Lorelai calls him Digger multiple times. And then he finally calls her nickname, which I can't remember. And then she's like, oh, and he's like, you've been calling me Digger for months.
Wasn't it like Droopy Drawers or something like that? Or no, that's Rory's nickname. Gosh, now I gotta know.
Yeah.
Umlauts?
Yes.
Oh, the dots over the letters. I just recently learned that's what those are called.
Oh.
He calls her umlauts.
Umlauts. And they never explain what either name came from.
Yes, I've noticed that because where I got that information was from a Reddit. They're like, why do they call her umlaut?
Yes. And I think he calls her
theory.
Go ahead. I love your theories.
I feel like it had to be knowing who Lorelai is and who she was growing up and the fact that she got pregnant at 16. I could see her walking around in a shirt without a bra and headlights, umlauts, 2 dots.
Yeah, that could be. That could be it.
I am not as innocent as some might think. So, of course, that's where my brain went. Digger feels like the kind of guy that would come up with something like that, though.
Yes. Oh,
rich people insults.
Yes. Okay.
Anyway, let's talk about Digger.
Okay. I don't completely hate Digger.
Okay.
And I know that you don't like him at all.
I really don't. The more I think about it, especially for this episode, the more I realize ugh.
Yeah. I don't completely hate him, but also I had mentioned to you off this podcast that I have an association with an actual real life person who we called Digger.
Okay, but you got to separate your positive real life experience from the reality that is the show.
It's true. Okay, here are the things that I like about Digger. I like that he knew her as a kid and that he understands where she came from and also kind of how she got to where she is, right? And I appreciate that he recognizes her as the strong, independent woman that she is and wants to be with her because of those things.
Okay.
And I also really love the episode where they go shopping at the grocery store.
Was their first date?
Yes.
I find this funny and I'm trying to keep a straight face and I know it's throwing you off because I'm not succeeding. All of the things I want to say are on my face. But all of the things you're mentioning are the exact reasons I don't like him, but not for the reasons you think. But continue.
Anyways, that's what I've got right now. But I also, the episode where Emily keeps calling each of them individually, because he took a morning off so that he could go to Stars Hollow with her, and they were going to go shopping. Mm-hmm. And then Emily calls her. No, Emily calls at a different time earlier in the episode when they're at his house, and because they're in bed and she starts dressing, and he's like, "Why are you getting dressed?" And she's like, "I don't know. I could tell my mom could feel my nakedness or whatever." And then the next day they're in Stars Hollow, and he's on the phone with Emily, and
Lorelai's going off, and he's like, "Oh, that's great, Emily,"
and she's like, "Oh." Yeah. Anyways, your thoughts on Digger?
Okay. Look, so I don't think Digger ever actually liked Lorelai.
Okay.
Much like we talked about how Christopher often would utilize Lorelai as a means to whatever his ends were, I think Digger saw Lorelai as an opportunity for each step of what he was doing throughout the time they were together. I think he liked her. Mm-hmm. I don't think he liked her.
Okay.
Emphasis.
Liked her.
I don't think he liked her. Nothing about that relationship said to me he had any interest in long term.
Okay.
And everything he did was very much just in the now, but not in the we're living for the moment. It was more of a, you are the daughter of this guy I want to go into business with. Getting in with you, good with you should get me good in with him. Mm-hmm. Oh, you are the daughter of the guy I'm now suing because they screwed me over. But if I stay with you, maybe I can win this. And that backfired because Lorelai has morals.
Yeah.
Because
Okay, but can I get your thoughts on this though? Because this is puzzling to me a little bit. Like, okay, so she breaks up with him, and she's like, I can't date someone that's suing my father, no matter my issues with my parents. I still have that loyalty, right? And so she breaks up with him.
I know exactly where this is going. I've already thought about it.
Okay, good. Because I want to know your thoughts on
And
this.
he shows up at the inn?
Yes.
Is that where we're going?
Yes.
And he sits there?
Yes.
First of all, that was clearly an opportunity for Luke to assert his dominance.
Which I am here for. No, I love how that played out.
Again, I think that was just Digger needed Lorelai. He needed Lorelai because Lorelai was the connection to Richard.
Yeah.
I don't think Digger, because he is obnoxious, could have fostered. I almost said fossilized.
That too.
I don't think Digger could have fostered the relationship that he wanted with Richard without Lorelai. And I think even though he was suing her dad, like, he never once stopped and was like, oh yeah, that's a really crappy thing I'm doing to my girlfriend's father.
It's true.
He never looked at it that way. Because Lorelai was never his girlfriend.
He never really accounted for her.
No, it was, I'm suing her father, but I need this to work in my favor. And I think if Lorelai had caved, I think he would have been using her throughout the episodes. You just drop in the mic. Mic drop. I think that if that relationship had continued, we would have seen the dynamic shift of him kind of weaseling information out of her.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what would have happened.
Okay, I think this just came to my mind just now. So, Soozee epiphany. Okay, but just like his dog that lives in his house.
Yeah, sorry, the statue dog.
The statue dog. I feel like that's how he saw Lorelai also.
Well, yeah. Think about this, though. I don't think he ever intended to ever have a long-term relationship with anyone because of the weird sleeping thing. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. My parents sleep in separate bedrooms now because my dad snores.
Yeah.
And he likes to sleep with the window open, and they live in Montana, and he'll sleep with the window open in the winter.
Oh, gosh.
Where it can get below 0.
Yes.
And my mother does not do cold well.
Yeah.
So they sleep in separate bedrooms for that purpose, so they both can sleep better, especially because they have slightly different sleep schedules that, and I know that there are a lot of couples who do sleep in separate bedrooms, especially as they get older, for the sake of like the snoring or the comfort thing. But most of those couples started out sharing a bedroom.
It's true.
He can't even share a bedroom with his one-night stand.
It's true.
Oh, look, I've got this perfect room for you, this guest room with a mini bar and a TV. There was never any intent for anything to be long-term.
It's true.
He never even tried to get to know her. Let's talk about the first date, shall we?
Yes, let's.
He's known her since she was a child. Again, he's giving Christopher vibes to me in those moments because
which would make sense.
He grew up in the same sort of lifestyle.
Yes.
He's still living the same sort of lifestyle. But
him even more so than Christopher because he stayed in the family business.
Exactly. But if you grew up with Lorelai, you know Lorelai.
Yeah.
She has not changed that much.
No.
And I mean, not from like the strong, independent woman she was as a child. Like she's opinionated. She doesn't, follow the mold of the rich people she grew up with.
Yeah.
And he takes her to a restaurant and secludes them in a private room because he doesn't like all the noise. It's too noisy. Have you met Lorelai?
She is noise. She's noise personified.
And basically their date was kind of ruined, and then Lorelai had to take the reins. That's why they went shopping.
It's true.
And then he was like, well, I need stuff. And she goes, no, this is a date. No practical shopping.
Yeah.
Oh, but wait, I need something. Like she rolled with it. But he was very much like, he had a plan. He was going to execute that plan. He doesn't do well when the plan goes off the rails, which is why he shows up at the inn and sits there forever, because his plan required Lorelai.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true. Listen, I was trying to like him, okay?
I have put a lot of thought into this. There's a reason I don't like him. But
That's
also,
fair.
who has a dog like that? What kind of man has a dog that doesn't like dog?
Yeah, it's true. That just sits there. And he goes a little to the left.
I think that speaks volume to who Digger is as a person.
He's a little to the left.
Had to move my water bottle a little to the left too. Almost fell off the table. So I just don't like him. And it did feel like, and then the fact that like, I think the only reason they were hiding the relationship was a Lorelai thing.
Yeah.
Because truthfully, I think her dating Digger would have ticked her mom off, which she would have loved, because Emily hated Digger.
Oh, yes.
So,
More than any other beau that shows up at their house, I think Emily hated Digger more than she hated Jess. And she hated Jess.
Yes. but Jess was a Rory thing. That's probably why
It's
she
true.
hated Jess so much.
That's true.
Yeah, of all the men that Lorelai was with, even Luke, Emily came around to Luke because even she saw that Luke was always there.
Yeah.
And
that Luke was good for Lorelai in the end.
Yeah. But Digger, like, I don't think Lorelai would have wanted to hide that relationship. Digger was doing that because he needed to make sure things were good so that he could do this business deal with Richard.
That's true.
While we can go into the semantics of like how that went down with Richard and Digger's father, it doesn't change the fact that I don't think Digger ever intended to be with Lorelai in the same way that Lorelai thought they were together.
Yeah. No, I can see that. Well, and I think, okay, here's the thing. I know I'm repeating myself. I'm feeling a lot of things.
Feel them and speak them.
Okay, but the whole situation with Digger and his dad and Richard going into business with Digger, I love that we don't even call him Jason. It's just Digger.
Because that's what he gets.
He's earned the name. Okay, but because you have like a double crossing going on all over the place here, right?
I know, it's the most like intense thing I've ever seen in the insurance world.
Right? Okay, but okay, first of all, how did Digger not see that coming? He is his father's son.
Right?
Like, that's exactly what his father did to him, was exactly what he tried to do to his dad. He should have seen it coming, first of all. But I think he got too arrogant and thought that he could outwit his father.
I also think that on top of him being arrogant and thinking he was smarter than everybody else around, I think he also had two other factors going against him. One, Richard is a very nice man who comes off, very rarely do we see Richard be manipulative and conniving.
It's true.
Unless it's for the benefit of his family.
Yes.
So that scene where what Richard did to Digger, that was a little hard for me to take because that felt out of character for Richard.
Yes.
But in retrospect, Richard was trying to take care of his family. He needed a good, secure job because he was stressing about not having work anymore. But so I think that was a problem is Digger underestimated Richard Gilmore. And then Digger was distracted by the female body. Even though he was trying to use Lorelai as a plan, Lorelai is a very nice looking lady who knows how to use her womanly wiles to get what she wants.
True.
And I think he underestimated his ability to resist that.
I think also part of why Richard double-crossed him in the end, partly, and this thought just came to me too. I'm just flying with the thoughts today.
Hey, that's what this podcast is, stream of consciousness.
It's because Digger was very much trying to modernize the way that they were approaching business, right? And while Richard went with it and it seemed like he really liked it, I think in his core he didn't.
And honestly, I forgot about that part, but you know, I like that you pointed that out because that was enough too to make like me not like Digger with like how Emily was trying to plan this party, which is how they've always done things and it's what's expected of the Gilmores. And then Digger's like, let's take them to Atlantic City or whatever. And like no regard for Emily's feelings. At all. And like, if you're going to try to get in good with the daughter and the father, don't you think you should maybe get in good with the matriarch of that family?
Especially Emily Gilmore. But like that was her job. And she even talks about like as Richard's wife, that is her job. So like she doesn't go outside of the home to work, but she is as much in that career as he is.
I think Digger, was too arrogant. I think he got too involved in his little conniving thing, but also doing it his way. And you're not going to wrest control of something from Richard Gilmore without a fight. You're not going to try and claim to be equal partners and expect Richard to take a back seat. Especially because Richard has been doing this for so long. Like Digger just was so mad at his dad. And I think he thought he had a kindred spirit in Lorelai. He thought that Lorelai was just as mad at her parents as he was at his. And I think that's also why he thought he could use her to his advantage. But Lorelai doesn't hate her parents as much as he hates his dad.
Especially at that point, because they have actually they have found a lot of common ground with, their Friday night dinners and the fact that Emily and Richard want to be a part of her life. Like they want to know how she's doing. They want to know. And even if they don't understand Stars Hollow and her life there, they still want to be a part of her life and Rory's life.
And even though they try to manipulate and maybe control, they're not like Digger's dad.
No, they're not.
But that's Digger's own fault because he chose to stay in that life. I don't know. I mean, it's not like his dad changed overnight. Digger grew up with that man, doing what that man does. He probably learned to do what he did from his dad. So why is he surprised? And he's just not, no.
Well, and really, he was trying to do what his dad had done to other people. He was trying to do that to his dad.
But his dad's been doing it longer.
Yes.
As evidenced by the fact that they flipped that script on him so fast.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because like there's that one golf game with Richard and Digger's dad, and the deal is done.
Done.
And Digger's out.
Yep.
It took one golf game for them to reacquaint themselves with business.
And I think too, I'm gonna give Digger's dad a little bit of benefit of the doubt. I do think he was trying to get back at his son. And he's just smarter and better, and also trying to prove that his son was stupid for what he was doing. But I also think that Digger's dad had a better understanding of Richard's value.
Yes.
And that's why it was so easy for Richard to turn on Digger, because he knew what like you said, I don't think he liked the modernization that Jason was going for.
Yeah.
And I think that the way Digger was pushing all of this newer, younger stuff made Richard feel like his value was diminished.
Yeah.
And when Richard got pushed out of the company, he knew his value, and that's why he was so mad about it.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would have taken much for Mr. Styles to be like, look, Richard, I know your worth. You are worth more than this. I will give you this.
Yeah.
And you will be happy. And Jason can go touch grass.
He will learn his lesson.
And then, the fact that he goes and has to be annoying at the end, that scene made me so mad.
Because I liked Digger, but now I don't.
I'm very good at that. Wait till we get to the Logan episode.
I will die on that hill. I will die on that hill. That is one you cannot change my mind on. Anyways, what was I even saying?
You liked him and then you didn't. We were talking about the inn.
Oh, yes. Because like when he rolled up, I was like, no.
Because Luke was there.
This is Luke's opportunity. Get the heck out, Digger.
But the best part in that moment, and we see this consistently throughout Lorelai's guys, Luke never backs down, but he's never aggressive about it.
It's true.
Like when he meets Max Medina and their little back and forth, like it just happens, but Luke's like, no, I'm clearly the dominant one here.
Yeah.
And then with that whole Digger in the inn thing, Luke's just like, who are you? And the audacity of that man to say that he's like dating Lorelai. No, you're not.
And the fact that you don't immediately know who Luke is actually says a lot about how not in Lorelai's life you are. But also, we need to talk about when Digger comes to town and he's driving behind Luke.
Right! And then he realizes, like, that's who he was talking about. He's like, oh, no, we can't go in there.
And she's like, that's where the coffee is. If you can't go in there, we can't be in Stars Hollow.
Yeah. Well, and another interesting thing I just thought about, is Digger ever in Rory's? Are they ever in the same room together?
I don't know.
Through their entire arc?
I think he comes to a dinner, or he stays long enough that he's at a dinner. But I don't remember if Rory's there.
I think that right there should be the immediate red flag of that Digger's a problem. Because every other guy in Lorelai's life, with the exception of Alex the coffee guy, but Rory mentions him at one point.
They met. And they had a very good interaction.
Yes. But every other guy had some sort of connection to Rory in some way. It was in her life as well as Lorelai.
Yeah.
Not Digger.
That's true.
Because Rory wasn't part of his plan.
True. And she was at Yale at the time. So he probably didn't even think about her being a thing.
Except that if he was thinking about Lorelai long term, he'd have to think about the daughter.
Which means that he was not thinking about Lorelai long term.
Told you.
I'm happy that you got your way on this one. Look, it will not happen with Jess and Logan.
You have your epiphanies in the middle of the podcast. I have mine in the shower a week before the podcast.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, no, Digger. Oh, man. But yeah, the fact that he came in with thinking he was right about everything, and he was not. And I think he got his in the end because of it. Because he showed up expecting Lorelai to just take him back. And,
Had they dated before? Oh, you mean at the end. Sorry, yeah.
Brain. No, like because they broke up because he was suing her father, and she's like, I can't do that. Because I think he underestimated her relationship with her father.
Well, I think he underestimated her, period. I think he thought she was just like all the other rich girls he dated.
Yes. Which
I don't think he really knew how not connected to that world she was.
Which he should have, because he spent time with her in Stars Hollow. He went to her inn.
But he probably just assumed that mommy and daddy helped pay for the inn, and, that she's just living there the way he's rebelling against his father by taking over his partner or whatever. Like,
That's
I
true.
don't think he really actually looked that deep. I don't think Digger's that deep. I don't think he knows how to dig deep despite being called Digger.
Listen, just because his name is Digger doesn't mean he is a deep digger.
What if the reason he got called Digger is because when he was a kid, he picked his nose so much?
Oh, gosh.
It's that or picking wedgies, okay?
Oh, gosh. Oh, Digger.
Look, clearly I grew up where nicknames were not super creative and were usually connected to something about what you were doing.
It's true. Yeah.
Because doesn't even his dad call him Digger at one point?
I can't remember. I know that her dad calls him Digger once, and then he's like, I really don't like that name, and so then he calls him Jason. But
Emily keeps calling him Digger whenever she gets a chance.
That's because he keeps pissing her off.
I mean, yeah.
And here's the thing. I would never cross Emily on purpose.
No.
Ever. Because like she can hold her emotions, but she doesn't forget anything.
I mean, we'll get into this when we talk about Emily.
Yeah.
But if you need even just the hint at what she's capable of, or just like scratching the surface of what I think Emily Gilmore could do, you just have to think about that scene with Huntsberger at the DAR event.
Yeah.
The way she tore her a whole new everything
in less than a minute.
Mm-hmm.
It like
that
whole interaction.
Beautifully done.
It's true.
The way I cheer every time.
It's true.
I mean, if she can tear into someone that easily with very little preparation,
just off the cuff.
Can you imagine? Like, I have absolutely no doubt that Emily Gilmore could commit a murder, hide the body, and never be caught.
I mean, she may have. We don't know.
And even if they did find the body, she would have found a way to put it on one of her arch nemesis.
It's true.
Nemesis.
I 100% believe it.
Don't cross Emily Gilmore.
Don't cross Emily Gilmore.
Which, you know, we never see Digger after all of that.
It's true. It's true. Interesting.
And her husband is in insurance. I don't know what kind of insurance.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of insurance he does either.
Like, is it life insurance?
It's very lucrative insurance.
But every time I think about it, like when I watch the show, my brain just assumes car insurance. But now that I think about it, it's got to be like financial insurance, or like business or life.
Well, we do know that it is because Lorelai's in. Her dad gets her insurance through his company, but her in is so small compared to the companies they usually deal with.
Yes, we do know. See,
yes,
we pay attention.
It just takes us a minute.
There's so much more to talk about.
It's true.
Although I don't know that there's a lot more to talk about Digger. This might be a short episode.
This one might be a short one. Is there another guy we can throw in with this one?
No, because who would we talk about after Digger? Who's Max? I feel like is the next one. Because Alex is small enough, but I don't know if Alex is even worth.
But also, we like Alex.
But we like him because we don't know him.
That's true. Should we just add him to this one and skip Max for a minute?
I mean, I guess.
Because there's not a whole we can't do a whole episode on Alex.
We can't. No, I mean, we can't even do a whole episode on Digger, and he had like what 5 episodes.
I feel like he had more. I feel like he was at least half of this season.
Yeah, I mean. Okay, so, but we have to do what we always do before we move on, which is like we've talked about Digger. You tried to positively spin him, and I convinced you were wrong. So, but then I guess that is the question: is there any redeeming quality for Jason Stiles?
The only thing in a somewhat positive light is at least he had good enough taste to go after Lorelai for whatever reason.
I mean, sure,
and he at least appreciated that she was beautiful.
Yes,
that's all I've got.
I'm personally though, like now that I think about it, like I'm still stuck on the extra bedroom. That this is a normal thing for him. That every woman he has ever brought to his home has slept in this extra bedroom bed with the TV and the minibar and because he literally cannot sleep if there is anything else going on in his room. Like I want to know what that disorder or illness or whatever. I'm not trying to make it sound bad. Yeah. But like, what is that a thing where like the tiniest sound, movement, noise, a body next to you would make it so you don't sleep at all?
Yes, I have known people that are that light of a sleeper.
But he made it out not that he was a light sleeper.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That
just was really weird to me.
It also could just be Digger being Digger.
Yeah.
He wants to sleep with you, but not actually get REM cycles with you.
I like that. But like, and if you think about it, like he purposefully bought or rented or whatever. I mean, he probably owns it. a condo, apartment, whatever that thing is, with that second bedroom.
Yeah.
Like most people living on their own don't typically get a second bedroom unless they're
Not for a
using it.
bedroom.
Yeah, unless they're using it for like an office space or something. So it's just like, but he has that set up as a here's where my ladies can sleep.
Yes,
which is
like
just
specific.
weird.
Oh, that's kind of creepy now.
Yes.
Oh gosh, I don't love that.
And Lorelai was like, this is odd. And she immediately was like, it's okay. I don't have to stay the night. Like, why are we being weird about this? So we lost our mics.
Yep.
Well,
it was very tragic.
Sort of lost a mic and then we fully lost the mics. But anyway, so we're going to try to jump in where we think we left off, where the audio seems to be good, which was basically me telling you how weird and creepy it is that Digger has a very clearly, for the intents and purposes, separate bedroom for his girly friends, which implies he is a playboy, and you said that was creepy.
It is creepy. Like, if, like I said, and I can't remember if it's got recorded or not, if you have to have a dedicated bedroom for your lady friends, that you have lady friends over often enough to have a designated guest room that is pimped out like it is, that's weird and that's creepy, and maybe you should go to therapy.
But I can't remember if it had its own bathroom too, that he had like stocked
I can't remember
with
that
things.
either.
But if so, like that's intentional.
Yeah.
And clearly it implies that Digger has house guests often enough that would normally share a bed with him if he wasn't a creepy weirdo dude, that he's created this space specifically for these women.
Yes.
And like Lorelai clearly was like seeing the red flags because she was like, no, it's fine. I don't have to stay here. You don't have to make something up.
Yeah.
And then it was like snacks and TV. And she was like, okay, I'll stay.
He's like, I want to make breakfast for you. Well, guess what, dude? You share REM cycles to get to breakfast.
Although, I mean, we're recording this like a week after the mics died. So in that time, my husband has been gone on a trip, and I was like, I sleep so well. And then he was home last night, and don't get me wrong, I love him, but he's got a little sleep apnea, so he snores real bad. And all I could think all night long was like, this is why people have separate bedrooms.
Yeah.
But I miss him, so plus that extra body in the room makes the room warmer, and I'm cold. So see, all the reasons to share a space: REM cycles, warm bodies.
These are all the reasons why I never want to share my bed with anyone else. I get REM cycles very well on my own. I sleep warm all the time. Like, me and my best friend joke that when we get married, she and I both live in duplexes, and that we will just have to have our husbands take the other half of the duplexes. We'll just kick our neighbors out. Just kidding. We love our neighbors. But our husbands will take the other side of the duplex, and then we can keep our spaces because we've spent a lot of time perfecting our spaces to how we want them.
I do remember her saying that the other night, that like her husband has to live in a separate house. She doesn't even want him in her space.
Listen, she loves to she thinks everything through very meticulously, and when things are set, they're set. She doesn't like change.
You see, and I went from living at my parents' house to living with the guy I was dating at the time to living with the next guy I was dating to living with the guy I ended up marrying. I am not a hussy. That's just like, I mean, these were all very long-term relationships.
You don't have a dedicated bedroom for your guys. You're fine.
And it's just, I've never, I think with the exception of a couple weeks here and there, I've just never lived alone. And it was fine, like when my husband and I first got together, because he worked at a restaurant, so he was working in the evenings, and then I was a nanny, so I was working during the day. So we would get our like time alone, and then we get our time together.
Yeah.
Now, it's 12 years and a kid later. I stay at home, which is fine. That's kind of was the ultimate goal, because I want to be a writer and now apparently a podcaster, and I love my kid. They do. And so he works all day. And so but then when he gets home, it's like, okay, that's just him and the kid time, and me too. But like, it's the few hours he gets to spend time with his kid, and then he's exhausted, so he's going to bed, she's going to bed, and I'm sitting here going, I'm not a night owl. What am I doing? But then like, I want to be a morning person because I am a morning person. I don't want to be, I just am. But like, he's up early because he has to go to work early.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I get zero time to myself. So I can understand the sentiment of being like, go live in your own house. But not with my kid. I like my kid. I like my husband too. Let me clarify. I love my family. I also love having my own time. And when your schedules change like that, and then you also add a kid to the mix.
Mhm.
And my kid decided to take 2 weeks where instead of sleeping until 8:30, like she's been doing her entire life, she
Mhm.
was waking up at 7 or 6:30.
Uh-huh.
And it was like I didn't even get the like half hour between when my husband went to work and my kid woke up to myself.
Mhm.
You get a little crazy.
Yeah,
Just a little bit.
I can see that.
That's why I come here every week.
And I live alone. This is the first time I've lived alone, like without roommates, without family or anything. And at first I was like, I have made the worst mistake of my life. And now I'm like, I never want to live with anyone else again. Because I
Yeah.
love having my own space. You know, it is
Yeah.
nice.
I think the reason it feels harder now is not just because it's been 12 years and a kid for me. It's that when you have a partner and you have a child and you adult, you acquire things. And we're not like excessive acquirer of things type people. Like I don't buy a ton of toys for my kid. I don't have a bunch of stuff. My husband has a lot of stuff, but that's a conversation that nobody needs to know about. But like, it's just that, you know, when it was just me and my husband initially, we had a lot of stuff and we had to have a storage unit because the place we lived in was small. And then we lived in places where it was like big enough for us to have stuff, but we were moving so much that everything was in boxes. And so when we moved to where we are now, which is a townhouse, I insisted on unpacking every single box because I also wanted to know what we had.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what we had. And I've purged so much stuff. In fact, your best friend and my friend would be so proud of me because I had asked her for help for under my stairs and I took care of it myself this week.
Nice.
So now I can actually get to things and organize bins.
Yeah. My best friend is an interior designer. That is why.
And an organizer.
Yes. She did my whole house.
I feel like she'll be so proud of me. I'm going to show her next time she comes over and be like, look what I did.
She will.
There was a whole point to this conversation. Oh, it's our issue now is that I don't not just have my own space. I don't have space, period. Like I had to take my dryer apart today because my dryer has become a storage shelf and something fell into the lint trap. And then I couldn't use my dryer for fear of causing problems. And I rent, so you know. So like it's
very scary.
I get so mad anytime I have to do anything in my house because everything is everywhere. And it's not like we have, I mean, you've been to my house. It's not like we have a ton of stuff. It's just we're adults. We are in our 30s and 40s. We have stuff and we have a child who also has stuff.
Yeah.
And there's just nowhere to put it all. Like the entire under our bed is storage. Our closets are huge and every shelf is full of storage. Like I am grateful for the little papasan chair you gave me because it means one corner of my bedroom I can sit in and it feels like my space. Nice. Anyway, so all that to say is we've seen the inside of Digger's house.
Yes, we have.
He does not have that much stuff.
No, he is like hardcore minimalist.
I mean, his own dog I thought was stuffed.
Yeah, because his dog acts like it's stuffed.
Exactly, which speaks volumes about
Digger.
Digger.
To the left?
Yeah. And then the one time that
I can't remember.
It's to the left.
Yeah.
And then Lorelai wants to bring a plant and she can't put it anywhere because it will die. Does this place not have windows either?
Well, if they do, they're probably covered all the time.
It is very creepy and dark in that house. Yeah. And then everything's like stark white.
Yes.
Like it's what is the word?
Sterile.
Thank you. I was like hospital.
Sterile.
And that's just it's just red flags left and right. And I don't like Digger. We haven't figured that out yet.
No.
And I've convinced you not to like Digger.
Well, okay. But in my defense, the reason I liked Digger was because I knew a guy that we called Digger who was not at all like Digger.
Yes, he was a good digger, not a bad digger.
Because the guy that I knew that was like Digger did not last very long in my life.
Yes. I've never had a digger type personality in my life. And I'm not talking rich because we both know we don't know rich people that and don't associate with them because that's just silly.
Yeah.
More in that we've never had the opportunity, not in a there's a problem with rich people. That is not what this podcast is about.
No, we love everyone. But treat them kindly too.
I don't think I've ever had that kind of like Playboy personality in my life. So like that could just be it too. Like he already just was like red flag, rubs me the wrong way. Don't like it. Separate bedroom for your girlfriend. You're weird. Because like we've talked about whether or not like people are really that light of a sleeper, and I don't like doubt that there are people that are light sleepers, but so light sleeper that the idea of a physical person who could be comatose and not move at all night in the bed with you is just. But I guess his dog's not allowed to run around and play either.
It's true. That poor dog.
Like, that's a good question though too, is it Digger's fault the dog's like that? Or did he find a dog that fit his aesthetic and his personality?
He would have to train that dog to be that way.
Because why would you get a dog?
No dog is born that way.
But like, why? I don't even understand why he had a dog.
Especially because that dog is alone
All
20
day.
hours, 21 hours a day.
And
Like,
definitely not allowed in the bed.
yeah, oh, absolutely
He
not.
has to sleep in the guest room with the snacks and the TV.
If even there.
Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, why would Digger even get a dog?
Okay. I have a thought on this.
Okay.
Especially because after last week's part that did not record, I've had some time to think. Because there was a guy in my life that was a very Digger-ish person. He's the only person I've ever baked with, which is a huge deal because I'm a huge baker and no one is allowed in my kitchen.
Yes, and we mean baking. This is a clean podcast.
Yes. There are no euphemisms here. I bake baked goods. They are delicious. Anyways, he and I developed a few recipes together. Anyways, with him, image was very important, and he wanted to come across as like the boy next door, very gentle, very gentlemanly, very kind, the type of guy you want to bring home to your mom
or bring home to bake with you.
Yes, which again, huge deal.
I mean, your own best friend, you said, you had told us before when the mics went out, was she's only baked with you like once or twice.
So especially like before I moved into my current place, I had like an island and there were bar stools on the far end. And so anytime anyone was at my house while I was baking, they sat at the bar stools and you just could talk to me. But
whole island of counter between them and your baking.
Yes. I mean, I would work on the counter, but like, don't touch my baking. Like my very best friends in the world who know everything about me, maybe have baked with me once or twice. Maybe.
So a boy baking with you.
Ooh. Yes. He was very flirtatious. I could see things happening with him. Anyways, I found out that he was basically doing the same thing with like 3 other girls. Which
audacity, baking and bailing.
The best part is this simmered out, and he ended up ghosting me, which is funny. But because the guy that looked kind of like Digger popped into my life, and he started like noticing me, like when we were at functions and stuff that we all were at, and this other guy took my attention away, and the Digger person did not love it and ended up ghosting me because of it, which thank you to the guy who wasn't Digger that we called Digger because he kind of looked like him.
The good Digger, not the bad Digger.
Yes. Anyways, I can understand because for Digger, it is all about appearance. It is all about how he comes across to other people. That is his entire deal. He wants to come across looking very good. And in his mind, I think the dog makes him look more friendly and more personable.
Less creepy.
And less creepy, even though his dog makes him look more creepy.
Which Lorelai clocks.
Yes.
Like instantly.
Yes.
Which, I mean, Lorelai and her history with dogs. I mean, we cannot ignore Paul Anka. I feel like Paul Anka is going to deserve an episode.
He does.
Paul Anka the dog, not Paul Anka the person.
We can talk about Paul Anka the dog and the person.
I only know Paul Anka the person because of Gilmore Girls.
Same though. Same.
That would be a rabbit hole.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, it all comes back to like appearance, right? Like this guy that I knew, he very much wanted to make sure that he looked good. And I feel like Digger is the same. He wants to make sure that he looks good to Lorelai.
But I don't think he got the dog for Lorelai.
No, he had the dog before Lorelai. But in general, I think he also just wants to look good all the time.
But like we talked about, he's using her.
Yes.
For his own means. Lorelai was never long term.
No.
Lorelai was never long term.
She was a means to an end.
Yes. And the dog, I think long term, the dog was a means to an end too, because anybody he brought over who might have misgivings about him, you're right. The dog gives a certain appearance. If you have a dog, people are automatically like, oh, a doggy, and like it's supposedly having a dog can say something about the character of the person, right? Yeah. And I had a thought and it went bye-bye.
Well, especially that his dog was so well trained, right?
That was the thought that I had. Was that
we have the same brain. It's fine.
Do, thank you, because mine went I don't know where. But yeah, so he has the dog for the image, but then it's like, so they soften towards Digger being like, oh, you have a dog. You're not really this scary, creepy looking guy who's gonna murder me in my sleep in your extra bedroom. But also, oh, he's so well trained, which means you have the patience to handle what is typically known as a rambunctious kind of chaotic creature.
Especially with how well trained that dog was.
But he could never train Lorelai.
Oh gosh, no.
Blessed be.
No one could train Lorelai.
No.
And
they've all tried, because we think about like our Christopher episode where it was like he kept trying to change like the TV, having the TV in the living room and not letting her buy her snacks and commenting on their eating. Like, bro, no.
Like, even Luke, who knew her the best, he would suggest something,
But
and
he'd
then
still give in every time.
and then he would work around it every time.
Because he appreciated her for who she was, and he didn't need
Yes.
her to be anything else.
Exactly. He's the only one that truly saw her in that way.
Yes.
But also, he's the only one that truly knew her.
That is also true.
This is for another episode, though.
This is. We are not here to talk about Luke.
No.
We would like that episode.
That's why we're holding off on that episode.
I know.
It's going to be a long one in the best way.
Ultimately, when we talk about any of these characters of any part of Stars Hollow and Gilmore Girls, is they're all interconnected. So we are going to talk about the other things. But back to Digger, now that we've completely torn him apart, is there any iota of positivity that we can say about Digger?
He didn't kill a dog that we know of.
Kill a dog. That was a random positive point.
There's nothing else. There is nothing else.
So the one I had mentioned before when our mics went out and we didn't know it was that when he was driving through Stars Hollow and honking at Luke and being a total jerk, and then when he realized who it was and he was like, Lorelai, we can't go in there. I was a jerk to him. We cannot go in there. Like, granted, it may have been self-preservation, but at least he acknowledged that his driving behavior was inappropriate.
Yes, and that he was being a jerk.
Yes,
that is a good thing.
So I guess that's the only positive about Jason Stiles.
Better than I had last week.
AKA Digger. I also had a silly little note about when I was thinking about, and I thought about it again today, about how appearance-wise, Digger is like a cross between Max Medina and Luke. Yes. Like the hair of Max Medina, but like the ruggedness of Luke, which also like Digger looks, I get that you might find the actor himself attractive, but something about him on Gilmore Girls and the way the facial, I don't like him.
Okay, but seeing him on other things, because I have seen him on other things, he's probably the least attractive in Gilmore Girls, if I'm being honest.
That's a fair point. I have not seen him in other things.
He shows up in Bunheads.
Oh, it's been so long.
He's on a single episode of Bunheads. And he looks better on Bunheads than he does in Gilmore Girls.
And maybe that was the point, which I think brings us to the question I had where we completely lost audio last time was, what was the point of Digger being in this story? Like from a story perspective. Yeah. And then that led us into, because there's not much more to say about Digger, we were going to utilize the rest of this episode to talk about Alex.
Yes, because Alex isn't quite a full episode.
And I think your point that you had tried to make was that the reason Digger became a longer story was because Alex was not.
That's true.
And you thought Alex was supposed to be a longer story.
I mean, I think he should have been, truthfully.
But you had a whole theory about maybe why he wasn't, and that would be because he came before Digger.
Yeah, he did. So he did come before Digger. I did a little bit of research into Billy Burke over the last week, just to see how his projects played out. Because I thought he might have ended up not being back on the show for other projects. I initially thought Twilight, but Twilight came out in 2008, and he was on Gilmore Girls in 2003.
Oh, that's a huge gap.
Yes, it's a huge gap. But he had like 5 or 6 projects come out in between Gilmore Girls and Twilight. So, I mean, it easily could have been scheduling wise. He just couldn't come back. Because especially how they never officially broke up, he just faded out. Yeah. And they even say he just kind of faded out. I think it's disappointing because, like, I love Billy Burke, everything I've seen him in, which I haven't seen him in a lot, but everything I have seen him in, he's just been a phenomenal character. And I feel like Alex, because he had kids and Lorelai had kids, he was very understanding of her relationship with Rory, and he was respectful of it. And he had, I mean, we only see him interact with Rory once or twice, but his interactions with Rory are like very good and respectful and like appropriate. Yeah. Like, because the main one I'm thinking of is when he picks her up to go fishing. He picks up Lorelai to go fishing. Yes. And then he sees Rory, and Lorelai goes out the door, and he's like, she's never fished a day in her life. And Rory's like, no, she hasn't. And he's like, I scheduled a spa day. Is that a good thing? And she's like, oh, she'll love that.
Which I also love that he is like aware, which ties into another point you had made, was that you thought Alex may have been a test run for the Luke and Lorelai relationship because he's got the coffee, he gets her.
Yes.
And, you know, they were like trying to test and see how people would feel about that before they hard launched.
Yes.
Luke and Lorelai.
Well, I mean, it would make sense, right? Because especially because it's like, you don't want to throw all of your eggs in the Luke and Lorelai basket if the fans are going to hate it. So like,
which is funny because it's not like they haven't teased Luke and Lorelai since episode 1.
I mean, of course. course. However, there are shows that we could talk about, like a brief example, Heart of Dixie.
Okay.
She rolls into town. This guy picks her up because she didn't realize Uber wasn't a thing in rural Louisiana.
I mean, them city folk.
And so this guy picks her up and takes her into town, and she falls instantly in love with him, finds out that he is engaged to her future arch nemesis. And the whole show, there's 4 seasons of that show. They never actually date, but they tease it a lot. And she ends up with someone else. He ends up with someone else. I'm happy with who they ended up with on the show, but the fact that they never dated really bothered me. And I know I'm not the only one that thought that, because and they even address it at one point where they talk about how timing was never right. They were never single at the same time, while they are single at the same time in that moment. And they talk about how, oh, we would be terrible together. Never mind. They have already proven that they wouldn't be. And so I almost wonder if it was that type of situation where they're like, we don't want to go there and then tank the show because of it.
Right.
So let's introduce this character,
the coffee man,
who is very understanding of Lorelai, who understands that even though she says that she wants to go fishing, she has never been before and is not going to love it, but she's appeasing his interest. And he in turn appeases her interest. And so I think that it could have been let's see if the audience is up for a character like this.
Which I think is a fair assessment, because yes, they've been teasing Luke and Lorelai, and it is very much a slow burn. And I do agree. I think they reached a point where they're like, do we push forward and make this a thing, or do we not? And I'm curious how far ahead into the writing they knew. Because, I mean, was it premeditated to hard launch their relationship and throw April into the mix?
Oh gosh, I hope not. I hate April.
Anyway, yeah.
I maintain that they screwed up the storyline of Luke and Lorelai, because I hated that she got with Christopher after Luke. To me, Luke should have been the end. Luke should have been the end and done. And they should have left it alone. They should have introduced, if they were going to do April, they should have introduced her before they did and let Lorelai and Christopher figure out their crap while Luke is figuring out how to be a dad. And then when they get that figured out, then come together and move forward.
So we're going a little tangenty here. Was April season 7, or was she before season 7?
She's season 4. No, season 5.
Oh,
because they get together at the end of season 4. And then she gets introduced in season 5.
It's all a blur when you watch it, especially when you're streaming it. You're just like, I don't know what season I'm in.
She might be season 6, because season 5 is when they're together. Season 6 is when they're engaged. Season 7 is when they're broken up. So she's introduced in season 6 when they get engaged.
Okay.
Because season 5 is when they're estranged. Lorelai and Rory are estranged in season 5.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Anyway,
took us a minute.
Honestly, though, when you're streaming the show, I'm always like, wait, is this a new season? And then I look and I'm like, I'm 4 episodes into the next season. No idea. Because it
just
flows so beautifully.
And it stacks up real quick.
It does. And a lot happens in those episodes. Because even the Alex episode, I know a lot of the focus was kind of on the Suki and old friend thing, which I like the way they played that out.
Yes.
But it just, the more we talk about Alex, the more I'm like, no, that was definitely a soft launch of Luke and Laura, because he also had kids.
Yes.
And she mentions the kids. And so it's almost like maybe they were teasing the idea of Luke having a kid.
Yeah, they should have just done it to okay. If they'd introduced April at that point, it would have been fine. Then swap out Digger for Christopher and let their Christopher time, that storyline run through. Would have been fine. I would have loved that in the show. Instead, they made me hate them.
Yes.
For an entire season. And a revival.
And the thing is I think that Alex was meant to be a palate cleanser.
Yes.
From all the drama that happened before that. But I also think that whether his projects got in the way or maybe they were soft launching, I think Digger was put in with how much we hate him at this point to maybe make us like the potential of her back with Max or back with Christopher.
Yeah.
Because it's look how terrible this man is. He's suing her father.
Yes.
He makes her sleep in a separate bedroom. He's got a dog that can only go a little to the left.
Yes.
But
they are setting up Luke and Lorelai that entire season.
That is true, because my favorite is just my favorite thing, and it's relevant here, and it's going to come up in the Luke episode, is every man in Lorelai's life has some sort of early on encounter with Luke, and it's immediately those men peg Luke as endgame, because the first time Max Medina and Luke meet, all of a sudden they're like having a measuring contest, and Lorelai's like, what is going on?
Yes.
Never met before. And in my opinion, like, I know Lorelai's very oblivious, and because I've seen the show, I know what's happening there, because I know Luke's endgame, but Max had no idea. It's not like she introduced Luke as like this really great man who's this is the first time they've met, and all of a sudden like Max and Luke are going at it. Or when Digger shows up at the inn and won't leave, and Luke's like, then I'm not leaving either.
Well, and she usually introduces Luke as the man with the coffee. And I mean, they know how much he loves coffee, so that obviously he's important, but like...
He owns a diner.
I would never peg that, the man with the coffee, as future love interest.
So Luke must give off the that's my woman vibes.
It's true.
Because these men, every time, which Christopher has like some other elements to him, like Luke is aware of who Christopher is. But even Christopher's immediately like, you know, what's going on here? But my favorite encounter is the Max and Luke one, because I remember watching that and being like, dude, calm down.
Yeah.
Like, you just met this man. Why are you immediately thinking he's trying to steal your girl? I mean, he is trying to steal your girl, but he's more classy about it.
It's true.
And Max Medina is like this giant puppy dog of nothingness. He's already like intimidated by Luke.
It's true.
Which I just find hilarious. And then again, the Digger scene in the inn where Luke's like, no, you're not her boyfriend. And Lorelai and I are together. Like, what are you doing here? Get out of here.
But I love that it shakes him even to the point where when he's talking to her and he's like, I brought you flowers. Do you know how many times I brought flowers? And he's just like, I did all these things to show you, and you've got a boyfriend. And she's like, no, I don't. What?
He's sitting in the inn. He's what?
I love her like complete shock, because she's like, no, I liked all the things. I don't have a boyfriend.
What are you talking about? Because truth be told, as great as Luke is, he's not the smartest man.
Bless his heart, he is not.
And you don't realize it though, because it's not like he's an absolute idiot. But in moments like that, and he also not intimidated, but he's also very much like triggered by the rich.
Yes.
And he immediately pegged Digger for who he was.
Yes.
And was immediately like, oh, if he's saying he's with Lorelai, that doesn't surprise me, because Lorelai, one, has a tendency to date these rich jerks.
Yes.
Two, Lorelai comes from that background. And I think Luke, deep down, just always thought that he would lose her to that. And he ends up at one point, because she's with Chris, another rich boy.
Yeah.
You know, felt weird calling him Christopher.
Oh man, we need to save a lot of this for Luke episode.
We do, but and it's just going back to the Digger thing of like getting pegged as a rich boy, and him, and the fact that Digger just thought it was appropriate for him to,
and that the audacity and the arrogance of him to assume that if he sat there long enough, she would come back to him.
He's an idiot. He's an idiot. Like, I don't know how else. It's not the word I want. It's not a strong enough descriptor of what he is.
Well, the fact that he can't see that she has moved so far past him at that point, because their relationship was completely superficial.
Oh, 100%, because he was using her.
Yes. And she is, when she broke up with him, she moved on. And because it was superficial, it did not take her long to move on.
Well, and the fact that he can't understand that, as she says, I can't be with a man who's suing my father.
Yes.
Like, her family ties are a lot stronger than the guy who won't sleep in the same bed as her.
It's true. It's true. Well, and he never understood her loyalty to her parent, because while she fights with them, she is still loyal to them. She is still a Gilmore.
Yeah.
And she, though she does not claim it often, she still knows how to use her name.
Well, and I think out of the two parents, she has more clashes with Emily than she does Richard.
Yes, she's Richard,
a little bit of a daddy's girl.
Yes, her and Richard, and they have several conversations, just the two of them, of just a loving father-daughter relationship.
Yes. But again, I think this goes us back to, I think that the writers were just trying to give us a little bit of peace with Alex, because they knew they were going to throw Digger at us.
Oh gosh.
So I'm wondering if Alex wasn't just a palate cleanser from what had happened leading up to that, but was also here, we're going to just be nice to you for a little bit.
For 3 episodes.
And then we're going to throw this wonderful human being at you.
Gosh.
Which is just Chris in a different font.
It's true. He is just Chris in a different font.
A shorter, hairier font.
Okay, but what if Alex had rolled up to the inn instead of Digger?
I think Luke would have been like, wait a minute, that's me in a different font.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Because honestly, I think the big difference that may or may not have made us like the Alex Lorelai relationship was that Alex was very soft, very calm, very gentle.
Yes.
And Luke has a lot of like angry, aggressive tendencies that can come off concerning.
Yes.
You know, as someone who kind of grew up with a country family, not like country, but like, in Montana with families that grew up in a very certain style. You know, my grandfather was very much the woman should stay home, make the husband's lunch, and be there to make dinner when he gets home from work kind of thing. Women shouldn't work out of the home, like that very traditional, but also very country, which Luke gives that like country, like camping, hunting type vibes. That aggression can be very scary.
Yes.
Because, my dad grew up in a very physical home.
Yes.
And that can get translated. And when you hear yelling and anger and just how aggressive Luke could get, he wasn't violent often on the show, but it can be one of those things where I can see them kind of soft launching with Alex, like, is Luke's aggression going to turn people off?
Yes.
When he gets that angry.
Well, and Alex had a bit of whimsy to him too, because like when they go to New York to the show and it's awful, and then they like make up their own show, he's right there with them.
And Luke struggles with whimsy.
Yes, he does. But like, because you have Suki and Jackson, and then you have Alex and Lorelai, and the four of them are just going to town, making up their own musical. And Alex is like, we need to book you on Broadway. Like, this is perfection, right? And he understood that part of Lorelai and appreciated it. Whereas Luke knows about it and he understands it to a point, but he doesn't lean into it often because it's foreign to him.
And he doesn't have the patience for it.
Yes.
I think is the big thing. Like a good example of that would be when she's like, I smell snow. And she's out in the middle of the street smelling the snow. And Luke's like, whatever, and I'm starting to question this now. I just think that could be like why they were like, let's look at Alex here for a minute.
That also could be why they took Alex out.
Was because no, he's too good.
He's too good. He's too understanding. They're too good of a fit.
Well, because we also have to remember that Amy Sherman Palladino did everything up until season 7.
Yes.
Which means the on and off again, the slow burn and everything with Luke and Lorelai. I do believe that was what she ultimately wanted, because when she came back to write Year in a Life, she said that she basically wrote what she had wanted season 7 to be.
Yeah.
She wanted Rory to end up pregnant, and clearly Luke and Lorelai were supposed to be together.
Yeah.
So maybe she was like, nope, Alex is too much like Luke. Get him out of here.
Okay, we know that they would be a good fit. People want it. Now take Alex out.
Yeah.
Sorry, Billy Burke. Have fun on all of the other projects.
You know what? He went and did great things and Twilight.
He is the redeeming quality of Twilight, and that is all I will say.
Not even Anna Kendrick?
Oh, gosh. She's barely in it.
That's true.
She's in it for like 10 minutes.
Again, everything I've seen about Twilight or know about Twilight is against my will. And I remember when we became friends and started talking more, and I was like, I saw a TikTok and it showed Anna Kendrick in Twilight. She wasn't in Twilight. And you're like, yes, she was. I'm like, changing my opinion of Anna Kendrick.
It was before.
Yes.
She was really famous. And also,
I know. I love Anna Kendrick. She's hilarious.
You would love her in that one too. But she has like, between the 4 movies, she has like maybe a half-hour screen time.
Yeah.
Because she's a side character, and she's, especially once Bella gets with Edward, she's a real side character.
I just love, and this is relevant to Gilmore Girls, because I just love how some of the videos I've seen lately where it's like they did really bad job of like content or like just background stuff, where I sent you a video today where the boys in the background are clearly supposed to be playing hacky sack, and there is nothing. They're just kicking air.
There is no hacky sack.
And I actually took a picture of when I started watching Gilmore Girls. It's very early in the season or in the series, and I sent it to you, I think. But I was watching, and like Lane and Rory were talking, and this older lady walks by with a baby carriage.
Yes,
and it's not a real baby; it's a doll, and it's very obviously a doll. Like I clocked it as it went by, that I rewound it and paused it and took a picture and sent it to you, because I'm like, okay, I get babies are hard to manage. I was a career nanny and I have a child. Like, you can't guarantee a baby won't cry on set. But the least you could have done was made that baby doll not look like a baby doll.
It's true. It's true.
It was just funny.
Yeah. Oh man, that was funny.
Anyway, we've gone way off at this
It's
point.
true.
I think we've managed to make up the time we lost when our mics went out.
And I feel like we've covered Alex and Digger quite well.
We did. And we definitely made up for time on that one. So
excellent.
I think when we combine it with the first part, we will have our full episode. So.
Excellent.
Okay, so this was episode 4. And we need
to talk about good things about Alex, things we like.
We like everything about Alex. I don't think there's anything we don't like about Alex. I don't think
there is either.
Especially because the best part was when he clocked Lorelai with the fishing thing. Yes. And he was like, I already booked her a spa. Even Rory was like, yes, you are good.
Yes, yes. Because Rory is like very supportive of Alex. Everyone is very supportive of Alex.
Yeah, and when they mention him later, like Rory's the one who asks, oh, what about Alex? And Lorelai's like, oh, he's been busy with the kids. And that's like the last time we hear about him.
I mean, they did write in a very good out that he is starting a coffee shop.
Okay, I don't remember that part, but
that's how they meet.
Well, I knew that. Yeah. I just didn't know that they did they actually say like he's gone to start the coffee shop and that's why, or did they just never really give closure on it?
They never really gave closure on it, but because they started with them meeting at the
at
event,
the little
and then him taking her to try coffee.
Yes.
On their first date.
Which brilliant move.
Yes. Brilliant move. But, it was implied that he would be starting a coffee shop, and to start a business like that would be very time consuming. Yes. So they did kind of ride in an automatic out if they needed it, but they also could have left him in a little longer.
Yes.
And not given us Digger at all. Just kidding. It would have been hard to go from Digger.
Honestly, like with Alex, it's making me question things about Luke. Because, think about it. Yes, Luke helps Lorelai learn about fishing and whatnot and gets her the little pool. And but then the minute she starts naming the fish, he's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it came down to Lorelai being like, no, I'll go fishing with you, I think Luke would have been like, no, you're not going to like that. We're going to do this instead. Whereas Alex was like, okay, I appreciate the effort. I booked her a spa though, because I'm not stupid.
And I'm sure he's like, we'll try fishing for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then we'll go take her to the spa where she'll be happier.
And I don't know that Luke would have necessarily thought in that sort of direction.
He wouldn't have.
So,
because that's not his forte.
And we could have had, we couldn't have had Alex because Luke would have never happened then.
It's true. They gave us too much good with Alex
in just 3 episodes. They did more with Alex in 3 episodes than they did with the entire series of Luke and Christopher.
7 seasons, and it took 3 episodes and Billy Burke to break Luke in our minds.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm now Team Alex.
I'm Team Alex too.
Alex is Lorelai's Dave Rogowski.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Oh, what could have been?
What could have been? All right.
That's where we need to end this.
We gotta be done.
Sorry to break all of your hearts too. Welcome to the club with us. Be sad with us.
And then you can come back next week when we talk about Max Medina.
Yes.
Next week.
Yes.
Whenever we post it.
Yeah. You'll be listening to it next week. We'll record it at some point.
Max Medina.
Oh.
I think we're doing every other week to start. Because this is only episode 4. Sure. Whatever. We'll figure it out. I don't know how fast.
Join us next time for Max Medina.
Next time, Max Medina, aka Wolfie from 10th Kingdom, which is hilarious.
I couldn't unsee that because I saw him as that first.
I know. We'll have to talk about that. All right. Well, thank you for joining us on the Gilmore Gap. We apologize for our technical difficulties, but we are new. We're baby podcasters.
And also, I'm sure you loved not having to listen to all of us talk twice through everything.
That's true.
You guys just
have bad audio.
You guys just get one really good, well thought out episode.
I love how you say well thought out as if we planned this.
I mean, we thought about everything we lost last week, so
that is true. So the second half.
Yes.
Let's be honest. It's a stream of consciousness podcast in keeping with the theme of Gilmore Girls.
And Gab.
And gabbing. All right.
Have a great night.
We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye. The Gilmore Gab is created and produced by Rachel Fluellen and Soozee Carmichael. Music by Kevin MacLeod. Follow us on Instagram at Gilmore Gab Podcast and sign up for our newsletter on Substack. You can also subscribe to our paid Substack for early access to new episodes and exclusive content. The Gilmore Girls show and characters are the exclusive property of Warner Brothers Entertainment. Warner Brothers Entertainment is not affiliated with, nor does it endorse, the Gilmore Gab Podcast.